Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Today we will be getting into some more of these driving missions, and the next set we are going to do is called Rolling Stone. It's the third set of driving missions, and the first one is at the Nürburgring, and we've got a Mercedes SLR McLaren to drive in this one, so a nice car, very grunty, grumbly engine, which is awesome. I love the sound of this thing. And that is pretty much the only positive about this driving mission. It was incredibly difficult. Took me around about 20 minutes just to get a run to the finish line. So yeah, you can see we're being a little bit hesitant in these driving missions. This one we just have to, of course, get to the lead of this small pack of cars by a certain point. Yeah, well, there's a bit of a loss of the rear end there on the exit curb, but yeah, this with these types of driving missions you can't waste any time. You have to make every overtake as soon as you possibly can, but you can see we did get the bronze there eventually, but it took us probably another 20 minutes after that to improve on that run. So yeah, this one was very tricky, and yeah, probably took about 40 minutes in total. But eventually we were able to improve on that bronze run there, where we finished in third. Of course, to get gold we need to finish first. So let's see, big lunge down the inside, being much more aggressive now, and you know, we have to almost place the car 2 wheels off the road to make sure we don't make contact with anyone. Go around the outside here, and that made things a little bit awkward. And yeah, that it's all about trying to optimize the overtakes as well, and trying to find the best places to make the overtakes. We've got one car left in front of us, but we don't quite have the run, but that was very close. But yeah, that one wasn't quite enough. So we move on to the very next attempt. We've done all the learning now, we just need to put it all together. So yeah, there's specific ways and places you need to make the overtakes to get to the lead in the most efficient way. We slither to the inside there, just keeping enough of the car on the road to not get ourselves disqualified and not get held up by the car. And that's half the battle too, is not making any contact and not going off the road. But you can see we're being very aggressive and making the moves as soon as we can. This next one is a little bit tricky. We have to dodge to the right here, and we actually passed them later than on our previous attempt, so we just need to string this last real corner together and get a nice run, and that is exactly what we have done. And now we have to dodge to the left here, and we'll get the move done and cross the line in first, just about there. But that was a rather tricky one, and yeah, about 40 minutes after our first attempt we finally get the gold. So yeah, that one did take a while, and we drove so far in that we got our daily marathon completed. So yeah, that is good. We can spin for a prize here. What are we going to get? We are going to get some automotive slinkies. What car are these for? The Ferrari F8 Tributo. I don't even have that car, so brilliant. Alright, that's about the worst prize I've ever seen. Anyway, yeah, let's head on to the next one, which is a race. So because this is a race style one, thankfully the rules about contact and going off the road don't apply. Not that there is an off-road here at Tokyo Expressway. So yeah, let's see what we can do in this one. I'm actually very curious as to whether we are able to cheese the corners as we did in the previous one in the Aston Martin around this track. That was of course just a regular race, and yes, we can. That is a surprise. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I would have thought in a driving mission where you usually actually have to drive well, you wouldn't be allowed to do that, but apparently the game's feeling nice today, and we can wall ride as much as we like. I'm actually curious whether the very fastest people would do this just to get the fastest time, because I'm sure it's definitely faster than you know, applying the brakes and making overtakes in the traditional way. But anyway, we can't actually. Back in Gran Turismo 6, you could watch replays of the very fastest people in these sorts of things. I'm not sure if you could in driving missions, but you definitely could for the seasonal events that we had back in Gran Turismo 6, where, I mean, they were basically the same as driving missions, but they were only available for a limited time, and the reward would be either a car or a unique paint color. You'd get like chrome silver or something, which was really cool. And yeah, the only way you could get that kind of color is from these events. So that's not a corner we can absolutely cheese, as we just discovered there. But anyway, as I've been talking completely off topic for a while now, let's get back into things. We've just about completed the first lap and made a good amount of progress, I would say. We're up into 5th position now, so yeah, we just need to keep pushing on, and yeah, we'll make our way through the field as this goes on. It's 3 laps this race, so we do have quite a bit of time on our side to be able to get this done. So we'll make another overtake in a straight line. This thing is an absolute rocket ship in a straight line, this GTR. It's crazy. Purple sector there, not a big surprise, obviously. That was a slow rolling start at that sector before. And a nice exit there. We'll get him running around the outside, and that's another position gained onto the podium now. So just 2 cars to go left in front of us, and we'll have the race lead. I do wonder why, going off topic once again, the set of driving missions is called Rolling Stone, and in fact all the driving missions have kind of odd names. I'm sure they're references to something. The next set is called Moby Dick, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, yeah, I'm curious what they're all references to. There's one called Gone with the Wind. I think that's the one after the next one. What have we done in the past? We've done Beyond the Horizon and Magic Mountain. So yeah, I'm curious. I'm sure they're all references to one thing or another, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, as I've been saying all that, we've moved ourselves up into 2nd position with a bit of bumping and bashing, and now we've got the race leader right in front of us. We're going to go for the move down the inside, a late lunge there, and we'll just about get it done, going very wide on the exit, grazing the wall, and we'll lose the race lead once again as we exit the final corner and onto the main straight once again. It's purple sector. Despite that, of course, we did have the crash there on the previous lap. So anyway, we've got that 1 car left in front of us as we head on to this final lap. So let's focus on the race and see if we can get past them before too long. So they have very good straight line speed, and it's going to be difficult to get the move done. We're in the slipstream, and we should be able to get this done as we head along, and we're actually going to get it done even before the braking zone. And of course, we're just going to run around the outside here, almost losing the rear end as we bump the wall on the way in. But thankfully we're able to keep things under control. We've got the race lead now, so let's just move on to the end. And that we do, as we now come towards the finish line to complete the easiest driving mission in history. Gold. And yeah, that was an easy one once we figured out we could cheese the corners. Anyway, on to the next one. This is a drag race, and we actually use our own car for this one. We don't get given a car, so I decided we'll go with the Mercedes 300 SEL, something, whatever it's called, and see how it goes. Unfortunately though, it wasn't so good for the old drag racing, and yeah, we crossed the line. Not even close enough for the bronze. It's interesting how this works actually, the difference between gold, silver and bronze. Gold, obviously you need to beat the opponent, but silver and bronze works on how far behind you are. So I don't know if they're consistent. We've bought a set of racing soft tyres to see if that can help this car, by the way. I don't know if the other car is consistent to the millisecond every time. I didn't check that. But yeah, it's interesting how that works. Because if the other car varies in speed slightly, that can actually change run by run how easy it is to get gold, silver and bronze. But anyway, we got bronze on that occasion, but that car still wasn't fast enough. So we've switched to the Toyota Supra GT500 from 1997, and with this car, we absolutely smash it, just driving straight off into the distance, and finally we get the gold. 2.252 seconds clear, so yeah, rapid car that. But I felt like that was a little bit cheaty, so I went with a car that's a bit more of a middle ground, and we've picked the Toyota Tundra that has many upgrades to it, and we'll see how this one goes as we launch off the line. Now looking to the right, and we are absolutely dead even as we now head towards the line, and a bit of a mistake with the gear shifting for us, and it didn't go to plan. No traction control and no automatic gears for this, so you do actually have to do the drag racing the hard way. Thankfully though, on our second attempt with this car, we got a much better launch off the line, and they never stood a chance. We go to the line, and we take victory by 0.3 of a second. So yeah, that's a much more legitimate car to use. But from one ute to another, we are in a Ford now, and we have to make a lap of Trial Mountain using minimal fuel, and this challenge was hard. I do enjoy this type of challenge. It's quite fun, I think, but it's very difficult to get the balance right. But you're basically on a Sunday drive, because most of the time you're traveling at about, I don't know, 30 kilometers an hour. We're going a lot faster than that now, because it's good to get a bit of momentum off the start line, so you can use it around the first portion of the lap, and get those early meters covered. But yeah, it's a very tricky balancing act, trying to figure out where to brake and accelerate, and yeah, it's quite a fun challenge. It is, like I said, a style of challenge I enjoy. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes as we exit the tunnel and now head into this right-hander. Never touching the brakes in these fuel economy challenges, because braking is a waste of fuel, and it's all lift and coast. It's lift and coast the entire lap, even on the straights, not just for the corners. So there's a lot to try and balance and get right, but we'll see if we can get it right on this attempt. I have been trying for a little while, but you can see we've done, or we need to do 5,368 meters to get the gold, and we've just ticked over 2,000, and we've used well over half of our fuel. So on those numbers we're not going to make it, so we really need to be in full conservation mode for the rest of the lap. We're currently chuffing along at a mighty 41 kilometers an hour, 42 now, and yeah, it's slow going, this challenge, but we'll see if we can get it done. It's just a lovely Sunday drive through the tunnel here at Trial Mountain, not touching the accelerator unless we absolutely have to, because even as we are just coasting along, it uses fuel, and when we run out, it's not just instant fail. We do have a chance to just continue coasting along, so it is good to have some momentum, so that when you do run out, it's not just, you don't just instantly stop, but that little bit of accelerating along the straight, and that used more than 10% fuel. So you can see how quickly it drains just from the slightest acceleration. Another bit of acceleration there, and that drops us even further down the tank, where we've got under a quarter of the tank left, and we're only about halfway around the lap, or just over. So hopefully there's more downhill in this part of the lap, because we absolutely need it as we go past the bear on the right. Not sure if you can really see it from this angle, but that's where the few bears are, just on the right back there, just after the exit of the tunnel. But now we head into this left-hander as we coast along. We'll get there in about 10 to 20 seconds. But yeah, it's honestly, this is quite a boring part of the lap when you're only going at this speed. It's just a Sunday drive. Anyway, we'll hopefully be able to get it done, because when you drive for this long and you don't make the goal distance, it's a little frustrating, because you know you have to do it all again. But anyway, it's a nice change from you know, the challenges where you have to go absolutely flat out, making no mistakes at top speed. It's good to mix things up. What a nice day it is here at Trial Mountain. We've run out of fuel now, by the way, so from here we have to coast all the way to the end. We're at 3,800, 3,900 now, so we need to coast 1.5 kilometers to the end, and that's going to be tricky. Not sure if that's going to work. We'll see, but it's yeah, it doesn't look good. We're only traveling at what, 24 kilometers an hour now, as we head towards Loch Ness Lake, right in front of us. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation. We have a nice big downhill run here, which will give us some momentum, and we've only got sort of 3.5 corners left, if you like. So yeah, it's not too much to go in terms of cornering, which is the worst in terms of taking momentum away, but the last 2 corners are very sharp, and you can see the momentum of our car just completely stalling out there, down to 10 kilometers an hour, 9 kilometers an hour, 8 kilometers an hour, 7 kilometers an hour. We're stopping rapidly here, but there's a nice downhill run just over this little rise. Can we make it there, though, is the big question. We're starting to gain momentum again, as we almost came to a complete stop there. That was so dangerously close, but we're just starting to creep up on the speedo again as we hit 15 k's an hour, and now we are really going to start building some momentum. Rocket ship speed here, 25 kilometers an hour as we head downhill, up to 30 kilometers an hour. We are absolutely flying as we head towards the final complex of corners. That, as we went through there, was the half corner I was referring to a moment ago. We're almost at 60 kilometers an hour. This is great speed as we head towards the final 2 corners. This is the most excited commentary I've had all video, and we're only traveling at now 50 to 51 kilometers an hour, but around the final corner now, it's just a matter of coasting to the line. There's not long to go. It's all straight from here. We're traveling at just over 40 kilometers an hour, so I hope that's enough for us to just coast to the line. I don't think we'll get much further if we do make it. It's a long way along the straight, but we might just be able to get there. We're dropping speed fairly rapidly. We're down to 30 kilometers an hour now, so we need to hopefully just roll to the line. There's nothing we can do from this point. We just sit and wait and hope the car makes it to the finish line. As from a driving perspective, our job is done. All we need to do is not touch the brakes, and we should be able to make it, but it's going to be close. We're losing more momentum, down to 20 kilometers an hour now, 19, but we're almost to the line. That big flashing banner is what we're aiming for, but we're down to 15 kilometers an hour rather, as we now head under the banner, and we're gonna do it. 5,300 and well over the target now, 5,400 meters driven, and now we just wait until we stop. There's a little rise here, so I imagine this will be about as far as we make it, as we're still going along at 8 kilometers an hour, so not losing a terrible amount of speed, now down to 7. So yeah, we actually made it past the finish line somewhat easily, down to 5 kilometers an hour now. 4, 3, 2 and 1 kilometer an hour, and we are done. 5,457 meters driven, and that is a fuel economy challenge. Goodness me, that took a while, but anyway, yeah, I did consider speeding up that footage just to save a bit of time, but I thought it would be funny to just put the whole thing in, traveling around Trial Mountain. This is a drift challenge now, and as always, it took me absolutely forever to get this one done. Needless to say, I've said it so many times before, drifting, not my thing. But after enough trial and error and pressing random buttons until the car does what I want, we finally did get the gold, and that is the drift challenge done. Very short versus the previous one, but yeah, it actually took longer because it took so many attempts. But regardless, we now move on to another overtaking challenge. We have a nice speedy Corvette, and we have a bunch of not so speedy cars to overtake. But it is a Daytona road course, and there are so many corners around this circuit that can lead you astray, such as that first corner. I went off there so many times in previous attempts at this one, but thankfully able to keep things all nice and under control on this attempt so far. The other really tricky corner that I've been having problems with so far is this right-hander coming up here as we just squeeze to the left, and we almost go off the road there again. It's very easy just to outbrake yourself, not turn into the apex early enough, and yeah, that corner has caused us a number of problems, but thankfully on this occasion all clear through there, and now on the back of the second place car, and we should be able to get this done nice and easy along the well, this is not straight, it's very much a corner, NASCAR turn 1 I guess we'll call it, and we should be able to get this other car nice and easy as well, and in the end it's actually relatively easy in terms of our winning margin, and we get gold. But that took me quite a few attempts just to keep the car on the road and not make contact with the other cars. But anyway, the next challenge is a top speed challenge, once again at Daytona, this time though the oval version, and it's quite interesting doing a top speed challenge here because we have to deal with the banked corners. It's not just a straight run, but this honestly was very easy, and it took us a handful of attempts to get this one done, so not much to report on this one, just sticking in the slipstream and then popping out as we head towards the line and crossing said line at 345 kilometers an hour, and it's a nice casual gold for us, and we move on to the final challenge. This is a bit of a Mazda showdown, we'll call it, and yeah, we'll see how this one pans out. We've got a bunch of Mazda road cars in front of us, and right at the back you'll start to see the car we are driving, that being the Mazda Le Mans car, Le Mans winning car, the 787B. I don't know why it took me so long for the name of the car to come to me. It's one of my favourite Le Mans cars of all time. It's an absolutely mad piece of machinery, but anyway, we'll get to hear the sound of it in a moment when it's our turn to drive. But off the other cars go, and we will have to give chase once we are allowed to launch off the start line. It's been a long hold for us, but eventually it's time to go. We get to the green light and we're off and racing as we head down towards the first corner here at Trial Mountain. We've got significantly slower cars with a major head start, so this is always a very interesting kind of challenge, and can be very difficult because we have huge speed differentials against the cars we are fighting against, and we have to be very careful that we don't make any contact, because that will be bad. I don't think we get disqualified for contact in this particular challenge, but we can't afford to lose any time, because if we run into the back of one of the other cars, we're probably going to just crash and spin and everything else we don't want to do. So we need to be careful as we now head through the tunnel, and we'll pop out the other side, gaining positions all the time here, as we now only have 3 cars left in front of us. We'll run the outside line here, use the speed running strategies through that corner, and now as we head towards, oh, that's a bit of a mistake there, as we head towards this right-hander. It's one of the trickier sections of the circuit, probably the only part of the circuit I can't really get right on a consistent basis. But we're up into third position now, and now up into second. Look at the rocket ship speed of this car versus our opponents, and how much faster we're going versus the Ford Ute that we were driving in the previous one. But anyway, hopping over the curbs there, trying to save a little bit of time. Not sure that really helped us out, but the race leader not far up the road, but the finish line is coming up faster, so I don't know if we're going to make it. It's going to be super close. It's going to be super close. We cross the line and we do get first. But my goodness, there wasn't much in that. But we get the job done. And once we finish all those, we get our prize cars. The Ford Mustang Group 4 car. Not the most exciting car, but I do actually have plans for this car, so it's actually good to get that. And we add that to our ever-expanding list. That is for all bronze, and we'll see what we get for all gold. And we get the Corvette GC3 Group 3 car rather. So that's nice. Actually, I really like the look of this one. So it's a nice addition to the collection as well. And we get, of course, a few more collector score points from that. So anyway, that I think is going to bring us to the end of this one, unfortunately. I guess it's a little bit of a shorter one, but anyway, yeah, that is all we have to show for this one. The Rolling Stone driving missions are now complete. We'll just grab our new Corvette. We'll head over to Scapes and or Scape Movies. I always call it Scapes. Yeah, Scapes Movies, and we will finish off this one. So as always, okay, my computer just made an almighty noise then. Sorry about that, getting distracted here. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It is always very helpful. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.